Majestic Cat says hi. Please enjoy the video. What has simultaneously gotten worse and more expensive? New homes. Cookie cutter houses, built with cheap contractors who cut corners left and right, situated in neighborhoods with ever higher HOA fees, and the HOAs are getting more expensive too. I agree with this one. I thought buying a newly built home would be great. Turns out everything is cheap. Those nice looking baseboards, particle board, cabinets, particle board, nice front door. It's plastic and warps when the temperature changes. Everything looks nice, but at the core it's all super cheap material that was installed as fast as possible by the cheapest bidder. Spot on. I work on a bunch of production homes and all these builders care about is putting up the most houses they can in a year. The quality isn't worth a damn, and seeing the way it's all built firsthand really opened my eyes. It's sad because nobody really knows what they're buying. You see the model home with all its different wall colors and expensive furniture and you don't notice how shut it all is until you actually live in it. Cable television. More commercials. Channels upon channels of crap. Ridiculous bill. I remember when you could watch a show on cable without any commercials. That was its big selling point. I remember when MTV was music and the History Channel didn't normalize conspiracy theories. Network decay is a scourge forced on consumers by sociopathic bean counters with no morals, ethics, or integrity. Oh man, the Learning Channel was probably the furthest fall. 25 years ago, it was literally a channel for nerds. Like 30-minute programs of a professor explaining a math problem. Now, it's just white trash having conflicts because it's profitable. I call it the Jerry Springer model. My university education. Specifically this year, they are raising tuition, and fall semester has no in-person sessions. I don't envy college students during this crisis. I would be pissed, especially if I had a major dependent on university facilities, labs, etc. I honestly would highly consider a gap year, or two. College kids of Reddit, are any schools offering a gap year as an option? Colleges don't offer gap years, you just don't register, and then come back. You'll probably have to reapply. I can't imagine Hay wouldn't let you back in, unless you were basically already failed out. The only other option is to take a leave of absence, so they know you're coming back, but they usually are only for one semester. Photo booths. Oh, the old ones were so cool. 4 different real photos for $1. Now you pay $7 for 4 identical bad laser prints. There's a photo booth company here in the UK that's pretty cool. It's around £5 for 4 photos, it counts you down, and you get 4 separate photos, so you can do 4 individual pictures. They're in black and white, and look really nice. Afterwards it'll print the 4 images, and at the bottom, will be a link to an animated GIF of the setup for taking the image. So you see the few seconds before and after sort of thing. It's actually pretty fun. They're in lots of bars and clubs, so there's a lot of drunken photo booth pictures stashed in my house. Edit. The brand is Photomatic. Just dug a photo out of my boxes. Just wait until you try to book one for a wedding. $1,500 for an iPad on a stick with a ring light and printer for 4 hours. This is why we bought all the supplies and just made one ourselves. Super easily. Literally bought a backdrop and frame, all the fancy lighting, props, tablet stand, color printer, and even the little clicker thing to press when to take the photo. All of that off of Amazon for less than 1/3 the price we were quoted to rent one from a company. And now we have a photo booth, lol. We can be that cool couple that can bring a whole photo booth setup anytime we are invited to our friends' weddings, parties, events, etc. I remember the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts to be bigger and cheaper, and there was a huge selection of flavors every day when donuts were their main thing. Now, with all of the sandwiches, breakfast foods, shakes, smoothies, etc., donuts are an afterthought. And this is likely the reason they rebranded to just Dunkin'. Health insurance. Goddamn. Last year we ran out of money in our HSA in July. We were paying for everything out of pocket after that and praying for no major medical expenses. And we have Blue Cross Blue Shield. And it ain't cheap. What the hell are we paying for? This year has been a bit better, ironically. Because of Corona we haven't gone anywhere or done anything. So we actually have money in the HSA. Now we are like, what do we do with this money if we still have it in December? New glasses for everybody? There used to be this burger joint called Joe's Cab Block near me. Great place. I miss it so much. A few months before it closed down, I was there and the owner, Joe, was having a heated conversation with one of his suppliers on the phone. After he hung up, he looked over at me and just said, "Price goes up, quality goes down." It took me a while to realize that wasn't an asshole supplier he was dealing with, just a fact of life. People like Joe can't tolerate that. That's why the truly great things never last. Only the mediocre things are able to endure long enough to degrade into the universally hated embodiment of entropy that the physical world allows for. It's the commodification of things. They lose their quality and uniqueness and become something to be pumped out at high volume, and generally with reduced quality as prices slowly go up over time. I think too, a lot in the world has changed. Let's say you own a burger joint. You make 10% profit year over year. Then you have investors come in. Investors want to see 10% this year, 11% next year, 12% next year, and on and on. They want the profit to go higher and higher and don't care about your future once they sell out. That's why restaurants start out great and then get shuttier over the years, because investors leech them for what they can, leave them for dead, and move on. If a single guy owned one store, he could live on the 10% profit, but if he gets married, has kids, now he has to support a wife and kid, or 4 mouths instead of 1, so he too needs to change his business model. Everything Nestle takes over. Water is not human right. Nestle. All Cadbury's products. The Cadbury egg is honestly the most disappointing to me, because nearly every one of the food products mentioned has plenty of viable alternatives that haven't been ruined. You can find 1,000 high quality chocolate bars or ice creams, or whatever, but the Cadbury egg is a singularly unique product. There's nothing else like it on earth. So once Cadbury ruined the recipe, it was a treat lost forever. I know it was kind of a love it or hate thing before, but it is complete garbage now. I would gladly pay double or more to have it back the old way. There are a few select stores that sell the version imported from Europe, which still uses the original Cadbury recipe instead of the bastardized recipe that Hershey uses. They're just much more expensive, something like 5 to 10 times more. Ice cream containers that were originally 1/2 gallon have been shrinking. They went from 64 ounces to 56 ounces and now 48 ounces. But the price hasn't shrunk, it's been increasing steadily, and the quality often isn't as good as it used to be when containers were a true 1/2 gallon. Breyers makes what looks like ice cream, but if you look at the box, there's no word of ice cream on it. Just frozen dessert. Breyers is straight garbage for ice cream nowadays. It used to be decent just a few years back. Clothes. Even a sweater from the Gap is like $70 now, even though the quality is about 10% better than Old Navy. Goddamn clothes retailers, settle down or I will go naked. What I hate about this is all the brand names are super expensive, but they are still all made by slaves in poor countries. I would be willing to pay the higher price if it was actually made in Canada or US, but it's not. American Giant not sure if they ship to Canada, but all of their clothing is made in the US and a lot of the materials for the fabrics are grown there as well. Old Navy, The Gap, and Banana Republic are all the same company. It would not surprise me if the same factories made all their clothes. Surprise, they do. In fact, I have even found the same exact shirt being sold at a Gap that was also being sold at Old Navy, only difference was price. This coming from an avid Apple user. Apple computers. I'd rather take 1 centimeter extra thickness and more ports than using a hub for everything. For sure. This obsession with slim and light bothers me. If I wanted slim and light, I would have bought an Air. I need a laptop that I can travel with, is sufficiently powerful to run the programs I need for work, can connect to a projector, external HD, charge, and maybe plug in an SD card all at the same time, and seamlessly interface with our cluster which runs Linux. The MacBook Pro ending around 2015 was as close to perfect as you can get for an off-the-shelf laptop. Size of bags of chips. I mean, the bags have gotten bigger, but suddenly they need to sell you more air as well. It's for padding, right? And nitrogen, or whatever is in it, can't fully remember, helping it stay fresh. Scented candles. Yankee Candle in particular used to be the candle that was considered premium. But while they've never been cheap, at least a while ago it was worth the money. But now they are just exorbitant in price. They don't smell like they used to, and they are not worth the money. Yankee sold out. Kringle Candle is the original family making candles again. I'm sure this will get overlooked, but KFC. I remember growing up a whole family could eat there, and it was great. Now it's just garbage, super greasy, and will cost you an arm and a leg for a dang bucket of chicken. They have gotten way worse and the price has went up. Yeah, I remember big styrofoam cylinders stuffed with sides. Now it's $5 for a frozen dinner bowl's worth. Popeyes is invading all of the cities near me, and it runs KFC out of business in every city it enters. But Popeyes is far superior, even if service is extremely hit or miss. People outside the UK probably won't care, but the Christmas tins of Quality Street. Canadian here, yes we do care. When Quality Streets go on clearance after Christmas, I stock up, so I have some last until the following Christmas. Not that they last until then. Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if it's just me, but their prices have gone up, and the quality has gone down. Certain house appliances. My grandma has had the same fridge for 40 years. My parents recently had to replace this. It's their third in 20 years. On the other hand, you don't want a 40-year-old fridge, because they are super energy inefficient. Ice cream with fudge in it. Used to get massive slabs of fudge, now they just have tiny nuggets. I can pretty much only stand to buy Ben & Jerry's these days. It ruined other frozen dairy desserts for me. All of the brownies that Ben & Jerry's use come from a bakery that hires ex-convicts and homeless people. They do it to help people get back on their feet. I love that. I swear that Reese's peanut butter cups have gotten shittier over the years. The peanut butter seems chalkier and the chocolate tastes blander. Plus I can't ever seem to pry them out of that little cup wrapper without leaving the bottom chocolate skin stuck to it. I think the push to put them in the freezer and eat them chilled is a ploy to cover the declining quality. I just buy the cheap store brands since they use thicker chocolate and better peanut butter. Aldi has some amazing mini peanut butter cups. They blow Reese's out of the water. Face razors. They had it perfected with double-edged blades and a metal razor. Cheap and incredible shaves. Modern plastic disposable razors are worse on your skin, give a worse shave, and grotesquely expensive. They are nothing more than monopolists controlling the availability and accessibility. When you go to the razor section at the store, you can only choose from their garbage. I give double-edged metal razors to men and women loved ones as gifts, and universally their minds are blown realizing how much better and less expensive they are. Prague. I went earlier this year. It feels like Disneyland with the amount of tourists and tourist traps, and it isn't really cheap anymore compared with other cities in Europe. I visited Poland, Gdansk and Wrocław twice last year and enjoyed those trips a lot more. Smarties. Never been right since they got rid of all the artificial colors. Better for you, I'm sure, but chemical blue was the best flavor.